here's lie number one that is a sand dune to nowhere. You find your happiness by pursuing it. I mean, that's the American way, the pursuit of happiness. Or in the Declaration, I think it says the pursuit, because they did those funny S's in the Declaration of Independence. But we say, well, wait, isn't that how you find happiness? I'm going after my happiness, and that's how I'll get it. Did you ever notice that happiness always runs a little faster than you do? You can't quite catch it, and if you do catch it, you got it for a minute, and it sneaks out on you. And it's running again, and you're chasing it again. Now, our whole society is basically set up to say, pursue your happiness. You've got to look out for your own happiness. And when you're single, you've got to be independent. You've got to learn how to make your own way. And it is very easy to slip into a whole approach to life that I would call self-focus. I mean, it's almost a natural outgrowth of having to be independent, having to make your own way, is to become a self-focused person. And therefore the world, you have a disease. It's the disease that Pat Riley, who's the coach of the New York Knicks, I live in the New York area, forgive me, who else am I going to root for, but Pat Riley said when he took over the New York Knicks, they had a disease, and that was their problem. He said, this team has the disease of me. What do you mean, this team? We all have got that, the disease of me. And what I'd like to do is, I would like to be the sun, and I would like the planets to revolve around me. And that disease of me, that disease of self-focus, is what actually keeps us from getting the very happiness we thought looking out for ourselves would give us. How many of you have ever owned a goldfish? Goldfish owners? Goldfish owners. How many had a goldfish that died? Died. More the second time. Ridiculous. I feel good about that because my goldfish always died. The kids would bring them home in those little bags, full of water and full of a goldfish. We'd put him in a little bowl. He'd last 3 days. We'd put him in the other bowl, You've done this. And except he was not swimming anymore. And I thought, I know why goldfish don't live long. Have you ever seen how they live? They just get their speed up in this little bowl. This little fish, they get their speed up and they run into the wall. And they hang a left and they go, and they run into they just keep bouncing off the edge of the goldfish bowl. You say, this is a life? No wonder they die young. But we were out at San Juan Capistrano at the mission. We weren't there when the swallows came. We were there with the fish looking at this pond. And I saw this about foot-long fish. It was gold. So I asked the guide. I said, what is that, sir? He said, you mean the fish that's gold? I said, yeah. He said, that's a goldfish. Duh. I said, that is not a goldfish. I know about goldfish. There's these little things in bowls. They're this big. This is like goldfish jaws. What is this? He said, no. He said, see, that really is a goldfish. I said, it is not a goldfish. My wife took me aside. She grew up on a farm. I grew up in the city. I know nothing. She said, honey, you know what? She said, when we used to take the goldfish out of the bowl, we'd take them down to the pond on the farm and start to grow. And they'd get to be a foot long, 2 feet long. And I'm going, no, I still don't believe this. So we got back to New York, and this is no joke. We called the New York Aquarium. I'm going to get this settled once and for all. We asked for their head goldfishologist. They hung up. But we finally got somebody who would talk to us about goldfish. It's not they don't get too many questions about goldfish, I don't think, there. But you know what they told us? They said that these little goldfish, when they're in a goldfish bowl, produce this little enzyme that tends to poison them and retards their growth. So they won't grow, which is a good thing because you could just see them flopping around out of the bowl if they kept growing. But if you take them out of the goldfish bowl and you put them in a big pond, they start to grow and grow and grow to a size they never dreamed they could be. Now, many of us are living life in a goldfish bowl, and we can feel it. In pursuit of happiness, we've become so concerned about my needs, my problems, my pain, my issues, my work, my relationships, my disease of me. Welcome to the goldfish bowl. We might as well sing with the little dolls at Disney World, it's a small world after all. Because it is. It's too small a world to live in a world that's only the size of you. You know where the goldfish bowl is? Well, the goldfish bowl is when you know what the truth. The lie is you find happiness by pursuing it. Here's the truth. You find happiness by pursuing the happiness, you want to finish it? Of others. Some of you have already found this out, haven't you? You find happiness not by pursuing your own, but by pursuing the happiness of others. That's why we raised our kids on 2 words. We'd send them off to school in the morning and I'd say, go mad. And the next door neighbor would go away. What are you doing? Telling children to go mad. Well, I know what it meant, and they knew what it meant. It was not encouraging insanity, which I didn't need to do with our children. I just said what that meant was MAD, go make a difference. See, I told them that when the Creator put us here, He didn't put us here primarily to make money or to make grades, I'd tell them, or to make a team or to make an impression. He put us here to make a difference. So are you living that way as a madman, I guess you could say, or as a madwoman? We are not here to go build an empire for ourselves. We're here to make a difference. And when you live a make a difference lifestyle, you blow the walls off the goldfish bowl. You have graduated to the big pond that says, I'm going to find my happiness by seeking the happiness of others, not seeking the happiness of me. And I tell you, you're on your way to swimming in the big pond we were all supposed to be in. And you wake up in the morning and you say, who needs me today? What a way to live. Who needs, not who do I need today? That's self-focus. Somebody needs me at work today. Somebody in this neighborhood. Somebody in this, if you're in a college, somebody on this campus. Somebody in my family. Somebody needs me today. That's the greatest way to find your own happiness. In the words, the ancient language of or wisdom of the Bible in the book of Proverbs in the Old Testament, it says, he that refreshes others will himself be refreshed. Isn't that interesting? You know how to get out of your pit? Help somebody else out of theirs. So if you want to graduate from the little pond or the little bowl to the big pond, you start to live this make a difference lifestyle. First of all, you start to make a difference for the people in your world. You know how you do that? You be the person that is known in your circle, wherever you are. If you're working, living, wherever you are, you be known as the one person who is the other's person there. You are the one who is the one who gives praise to people instead of put downs. You are the one who stops the gossip in the office. That gossip never gets past you. You will protect people's name, and you're known for that. You are the person who is the encourager. You are the person who's the builder-upper. You are the person who notices when someone is not there, the one person who notices that they were sick and calls them and says, I missed you today. You make a difference in your world because when you get up in the morning, you're not working on your needs, you're working on theirs. And I will tell you, you say, well, what about my needs? That's the fastest way to have your needs met. It's the fastest road to happiness, strangely, is to quit trying to get yours and start trying to bring it to other people. Somebody mentioned earlier to be a listener. Here's a good question. After people have been with you, do they feel important? You don't have to be a musician. You don't have to be a great orator. You don't have to have any great talents. You don't have to be a Miss America or a miscellaneous. You know, it doesn't matter. If you are the person who makes other people feel important, they will never forget you. There's not a person in this room who does not have the ability to focus on another person. And when you are with them, make them feel like the only person on this planet. We've all met a few people like that, but you haven't met very many, have you? Because they're all looking across the room, seeing who's looking at them, waving. Hey, how you doing? Seeing if there's anybody better to talk to. Not you, though. See, the make a difference person says, I'm going to act like you're the only person on this planet right now. You've got all of me. I wonder if you're trying to make them think you're important or if you're trying to make them think they're important. Be a make a difference person in your world. Then, if you really want to get into the big pond, be a make a difference person in the world outside your world. Somebody wrote to Mother Teresa. Boy, you talk about a heroic single. Very few of us would want to accept the calling to work with the people she's worked with in those slums of Calcutta with the least of the least, people dying excruciating deaths, and Nobel Prize winning Mother Teresa. A man wrote to her from another part of the world, so tell me how to make my life count like yours. Took her 6 months to answer. I don't think she's got a lot of time to write letters. She's too busy making a difference. But she wrote him a 4-word reply. It's about all it took. Listen to these words. Find your own Calcutta. Isn't that interesting? Why don't you find some people who need you? Why don't you find a need? You are surrounded by needs. There are homeless people. There are people dying of AIDS. There are handicapped children. There are special children with very special disabilities who need someone to love and care for them. There are elderly people who have no one who cares about them. There are refugees, people who are new in the country. I mean, there are lonely people. There are so many. There are helplines, hotlines that need volunteers, churches that need volunteers. Why don't you get out of the goldfish bowl if you haven't already? Some of you already have. And you know that you found more happiness looking for other people's than you ever found looking for your own. I like what Jesus Christ said, listen to this radical statement. He said, whoever gives his life away will find it. Whoever hangs on to his life will lose it. You're not going to find your happiness by pursuing it. The truth is you're going to find your happiness by pursuing the happiness of others. So why don't you break out of the goldfish bowl if you're in it? It's marked me. And swim in the big pond that's marked others. Self-focus is such a lonely world, such a depressing